All right, for In Transit and my first transit of 2024, going to take a look at a startup out of Toronto that has a new take on high-speed transportation. They say that 1,000 kilometers per hour speed travel could become a reality in the next decade. Taking a look around the world, like the highest commuter rail in the world, high-speed rail, that goes about 600 kilometers per hour. So 1,000 kilometers per hour, that certainly sounds incredible. And how great would it be if you could go those speeds between Montreal and Toronto? We go now to Sebastien Gendron, who's co-founder and CEO of TransPod. Sebastien, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Explain to me how this goes beyond just a dream and it becomes reality, because it seems to me like we've been promised things like this for a long time. Tell me about TransPod.
Well, it's a Canadian company, like you said. We're now 8 years old, so we've been working on that since 2015. And more than a dream, I mean, the day we unveiled the first prototype of the vehicle last summer 2022, and we continue to work on that. And with the first infrastructure project actually to connect Calgary to Edmonton, and we expect down the road definitely to be able to do Toronto, Montreal. So, no, it's more than a pipe dream. Just for the auditors, I want to emphasize the fact that we already travel 1,000 kilometers an hour. It's called a plane, and so we're just bringing that at the ground level. So, yeah, the vehicle we're developing is literally an aircraft without wings.
So, and I understand how a plane goes that fast. What's the technology behind TransPod? What are you using?
Yeah, so the main concept behind it's to remove, I would say, 99% of the air into a tube. So it's a big pipeline, except that instead of transporting oil and gas, we're transporting people and freight. And the main tech is using electromagnetic kind of system for the propulsion and the levitation. So the airframe itself is literally 90% of it is coming from the aerospace industry. And then for the propulsion and levitation, we're using electromagnetic system, patented, tested. And so we are kind of assembling it together to make it work. And so to go back to what I said initially, by removing 99% of the air in the tube, you allow the vehicle to avoid aerodynamic friction, and by doing that, you can literally achieve even more than 1,000 kilometers an hour if you want to. But anyway, that's the initial target we have so far.
Sebastien, right before Christmas, there was this company that in the last decade or so, a lot of people have been talking about Hyperloop One. Yep. And they shut down. And I believe, and I want you to correct me here if I'm wrong, I believe like they were promising kind of sort of the same thing. They were using tubes as well for high-speed transit. Could you just tell me if Hyperloop One, was that a similar technology, and why do you think they've failed?
It's kind of similar. And there's, of course, I mean, just to, put more details into the ecosystem. Mm-hmm. There is today 6 companies remaining developing that. There's another one in the U.S. There's 4 in Europe, and also 2 governments. There's China and South Korea developing this technology. And to follow a recommendation from one of the Canadian pension fund or one of our investors, they said, you know what, you may have the best technology in the world. If you don't have any market, you can go really far. And I think what was missing for Hyperloop One was really kind of a first project. And we're kind of lucky, not lucky, but we've done some work with the Alberta government, also been in touch with the federal government to initiate that first market. And we're also working to develop a second corridor in Texas to connect Dallas to San Antonio. And as soon as investors see that there's a market, then this is where you can secure the financing to move forward. So I think that's the main more likely missing piece Hyperloop One didn't have.
We're with Sebastien Gendron, who's co-founder and CEO of the company TransPod. They are trying to reimagine high-speed travel in this side of the world. Sebastien, let me ask you this. What about cost? Because, I look at how the federal government is handling, the Montreal to Toronto corridor. And now, they're not even promising high-speed rail. What they're promising is high-frequency rail. And they say it comes down to cost. So for your company, for TransPod, how much would it cost? Like, can you to build your tubes and your vehicles? Could this be done in a way that's affordable?
Yeah, when we started that, since we're dealing with radical innovation and there's the technology risk behind it, we were really careful to look at the business case. And we've looked at high-speed rail, I would say, project worldwide. And we saw that most of them are not profitable. And we realized that the main reason behind it is because they're not maximizing the main asset, which is the infrastructure. So you have to use it most of the time. Like 80% of the time, you need to have trains or vehicle inside the tube to generate revenue. And right from the start, we said, the risk, we won't be able to get government backing, financial backing right from the start. So we need to make sure that it's profitable, so we can finance it 100% by the private sector. And the main difference compared to a conventional train is that we're mixing in the infrastructure both freight and passengers, and by doing that, you have a better profitability than a conventional system. For the Edmonton-Calgary line, the outcome of the feasibility study showed that 60% of the ridership will come actually from freight, but time-sensitive freight. We're not talking about heavy freight like CP or CN are doing. It's everything done by DHL, FedEx, etc. And by doing that, you can finance the corridor with private money, pretty much. Otherwise, it won't work.
How far along have you gone in testing? So, do you have a tube of a significant distance that's set up where you've been able to show that this works, at least over a limited amount of area?
So we've done all the tests have been done at our labs and so on. And the next step, like you said, it's to get the test track. And on that, we actually secured the financing for $500 million. To build the test track between the Edmonton airport and the south end of the city. So that's the plan we're doing. And in 2024, we have all the admin work to do behind that. What I mean by admin work is construction permit, the land acquisition, there's some public consultation, and also the infrastructure costs. So if we do a good job, all this admin work will be done in 2024, so we can kick off the construction early 2025 to build between 5 to 7 kilometers between the airport and do all the full-scale testing. That's kind of the next phase.
How long for that downtown to airport? What would be the time with this technology, 1,000 kilometers per hour? How long is that trip going to take?
Yeah, so first of all, the average speed between those two cities will be around 600.
Okay.
What people need to understand is that we're not designing a magnetic gun. Mm-hmm. So the acceleration is similar to what we have on the subway. So you won't have the time between downtown to airport to go 2,000.
Gotcha.
2,000 kilometers an hour. So you'll go drive. You need, I would say, depending on the acceleration, you'll need between 20 to 50 kilometers to reach top speed. Yeah.
Gotcha. And as you think big, Montreal to Toronto, because that's what I'm really interested in, that corridor, which is so underserved by high-speed options. How long would it take to go Montreal to Toronto with your technology?
Yeah, 1 hour.
1 hour.
The good reference point is to use the time we need when we fly.
Okay, gotcha. Well, listen, Sebastien, I wish your company so much success because, when I look at the renderings and when I look at your company, it certainly looks like what the future should be. I just don't know if we're going to get there.
It will be. You can count on us.
I love the confidence. Sebastien, let's talk again in the future.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Sebastien Gendron is co-founder and CEO of TransPod. They're based out of Toronto.